Periods of obsession happen to all of us. In the name of our dream, we often neglect our health and family and lose the track of time. We are capable of overcoming exhaustion and even physical pain. When our mind is completely dominated by one idea, nothing has the power to distract us.
It's the same old motto, I see the target, I don't see any barriers. You're moving towards your goal, but the goal is like the horizon, it's always retreating. And the person stops noticing things around him because, like I said, he has this idea.
A philosopher from the 20th century, Napoleon Hill, insisted that obsession is the way to success. Great scientific discoveries and wonderful masterpieces are born because of it. He recommended to write your idea fixed on several pieces of paper and hang them around the room so that the message would sink deep into your mind. If we think about our goal regularly, we have bigger chances of achieving it.
Our brain is like a computer. If you accurately program it with how it should perceive the world, people, events, how it should achieve this goal, it will comply.
The psychology of success provides us with Parkinson's law, phrased by the historian Cyril Parkinson. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. The more focused we are on the task at hand, the faster we complete it.
Let's say a person is obsessed with something. If he's obsessed too much, we should become concerned because it's an enormous mental strain. It's a mental and emotional strain. It's also increased anxiety. Will I make it? Will I pass it? Will I get it done in time? And after the situation is resolved, something is going to happen. But what will it be? And that's what always alerts us as specialists.
Normally, when the goal is achieved, a person feels satisfaction. But it doesn't usually last long and is quickly followed by the devastation stage. This is the period with the highest risk of mental breakdown unless a person sets a new goal and starts moving towards it with the same obsession. Such is the life roadmap of many successful people. Most of them are workaholics. Psychiatrists estimate that more than 20% of people living in the cities end their day falling asleep on their keyboard. They consider weekends to be a nuisance, and the thought about impending vacation makes them suffer.
Quite often, people turn into workaholics, especially when they have problems in other spheres of their lives, most likely related to their personal problems. Yes, I have some problems, so to numb this pain, I am going to go and work all the time. And if workaholism becomes a constant neurosis, it might actually indeed lead to obsession.
It was proven back in 1919 that work obsession is a disorder. The first one to determine that was the psychoanalyst Sandor Ferenczi, who had patients with very weird symptoms. They were getting sick on Fridays only to get healthy again by Monday morning. At first, Ferenczi called the sickness Sunday neurosis. Later, the term workaholism was coined. Scientists started actively studying the behavior of people who were literally living at work. A person enjoys his job, but then he starts burning out. Why? Because work became his main purpose in life. It means that his family has to live up to this purpose. His wife should become his assistant. His children work as messengers. Everything is directed on achieving this purpose. The Japanese are known all around the world as the most hardworking nation. In any other country, if you see someone sleeping in the subway, on a park bench, or simply in the middle of the street, you can safely assume that they are homeless. But not in Japan. These people who are neatly dressed and have briefcases, bags, and folders in their hands are workaholics, working away for 12 hours a day. Often they simply don't have energy to get back home.
Perfectionism in the case of a workaholic presents itself as a desire to do everything better than anyone else, to always be first, not to tolerate any margin of error, and of course to be commended by other people. When a person gets used to this state, he might at some point become mentally prepared to allow a mistake. But this moment of other people judging him, okay, right here, right over here, he might slip up, wouldn't allow him to relax and to overcome his tension and anxiety.
Workaholism is a dangerous phenomenon. Doctors say it can even lead to death. The term karoshi, sudden death in the office from overworking, originated in Japan and spread all over the world. About 25% of all the brain strokes and heart attacks happen at the workplace.
Our body works in a constant state of emergency, so what happens? Certain neurohormones, in this case, adrenaline and noradrenaline, are released into our bloodstream. Noradrenaline stimulates the activity of our skeletal muscles, heart, and brain. So our body gets into this overwhelming and long-lasting state of high alert. And the vessels simply give out.
Physiologists say that the key to healthy and happy life is the 3x8 rule. 8 hours for work, 8 hours for sleep, and 8 hours for active personal and family life. Changes in this ratio lead to serious problems. Obsession with work is an addiction, similar to alcoholism and drug abuse. The same mechanisms are at work here. Located between the two hemispheres of our brain, close to the corpus callosum, is the pleasure center. It's responsible for producing the pleasure neurohormone serotonin. Workaholics at work experience a massive release of this substance that improves their mood. But a rise is always followed by a drop. That's why people develop the urge to work bigger hours. The high-risk group includes top managers and entrepreneurs. They bear huge responsibilities and are prepared to work nonstop 24 hours a day. The second place goes to doctors, lawyers, and teachers. Surprisingly, risking to die from work, the least of all are creative workers and scientists. Maybe that's why scientists didn't dare to call obsession of geniuses a psychological disorder. You have to understand that these people have a different psychological type. They are usually called schizoid people. They are very creative, and their main objective is executing the strategy of creativity. They live in another reality, in another dimension. These people simply cannot live any other way. If these people didn't exist, we wouldn't know the wheel. We wouldn't have gone to space. We wouldn't have unique and amazing art of Picasso. A workaholic obsessed with office work and a brilliant artist. Both are excessively absorbed in the process. But there's a difference in their absorption. By studying obsessive geniuses, scientists determine that they are not likely to go through a burnout, one of the symptoms of workaholism. Surprisingly, despite the overload, people who are passionate about art and science rarely experience chronic stress. Einstein died at the age of 76, Picasso at the age of 82. Up until the last days of their lives, they have been active in the respective fields of science and art.
Some other mechanism is at play here because we don't see burnouts or wearing down of the psyche. Maybe they were born with some extra resource. Or maybe their belief that they have to give something to the world is that extra resource.
But an average workaholic ends up with a nervous breakdown after just several years of running himself ragged. The disorder has 3 stages. First comes the alarm stage, the main symptoms of which are anxiety, depression, and discontentment. The second stage is resistance, meaning apathy. The third stage, exhaustion. The person starts to resemble a robot without feelings or emotions.
What is a burnout? It's when your mind is no longer capable of dealing with emotions of such high intensity, and your psyche breaks. When a person lives under a huge strain during a long period of time, he's in serious distress. Workaholics are in this state of anxiety all the time. And this constant race and constant anxiety might cause serious inner perturbations and serious illnesses.
Most often, it's people with histoid personality, with weak and unstable nervous system who suffer from obsessions. It's about 15% of the population. They are prone to getting stuck in pathological conditions for long periods of time. Usually, everything starts with an idea fix. Being emotionally charged, it captivates the person's mind and manifests itself in the so-called tunnel thinking, when all the thoughts and feelings are focused on just one thing. Anything can become an object of obsession: career, money, fame, religious cult, and even love. And as weird as it may sound, obsession with another person is no less harmful for our body than workaholism. The first ones to respond to unrequited love are adrenal glands. They start producing huge amounts of adrenaline. On seeing the object of affection, the person's heart rate would increase and the blood flow grow faster. Cortisol slows down the breakdown of glucose, increasing the glucose level in the body. This provides a powerful influx of energy that is spent on stalking and manipulations. A hopelessly smitten person can neither sleep nor eat. All his thoughts are circling around the object of obsession.
There could be constant phone calls or constant texts. An obsessed person would suddenly appear in places where the object of his passion is likely to come, and thus disrupt the comfort of that person.
Obsessive love was first described in the beginning of the 20th century on the case of Adele Hugo, daughter of the famous French writer. She was dying from love for an English officer, Albert Pinson. When she met the lieutenant, Adele decided that he is the man of her dreams and she has to marry him no matter what. But the man didn't share Adele's feelings and was avoiding her at all costs.
And in this moment, the people who are gripped by this feeling enter a pathological, vicious cycle. They start attributing non-existent personality traits to the object of their affection. The person might have never possessed these traits, but he's still put on some sort of a pedestal.
Adele, obsessed with her maddening feeling, kept stalking the officer for the rest of her life. She was eager to do the most eccentric things just to attract his attention. She would follow him from town to town, bury him in love letters, shadow him on the streets. In the end, this love addiction landed Adele in a mental hospital, where she died at the age of 85, with the name of her beloved on her lips. What was left after her death is an enormous pile of love letters and the psychological term Adele syndrome.
Love obsession is exactly the same. There's me, and then there's the objective I want to achieve. For example, I want this person to fall in love with me, because I might believe that this person is my destiny. So there's this perception, this absolutely irrational thought that I don't exist without this person. There's a feeling that I'm nothing, that I'm dead if this person isn't with me. I don't exist in this world unless this person pays attention to me. And of course, it leads to certain actions. People who are prone to dependent relationships, they don't love themselves.
Obsessive love was also familiar to the actress Marilyn Monroe. The relationship with President Kennedy was too much for her personality. She adopted promiscuous behavior and started to abuse alcohol, ultimately overdosing on sleeping pills. Marilyn died at the age of 36. So why do some people easily change partners while others get stuck for a long time in a relationship without a future? When do romantic feelings grow into a mental illness? And what makes us lovesick?
The roots of obsessive love, of love for someone who can't give you anything, they lie in childhood. It's your mother who couldn't teach emotional acceptance. A person wasn't emotionally accepted as a child, so he doesn't know what love is and is therefore scared of it. His irregular mother would be affectionate to him one minute and punishing in the next one, and the person couldn't see the logic behind it. So when a person wasn't taught emotional acceptance as a child, as an adult, he will choose a partner who will not reciprocate.
In her memoirs, Marilyn Monroe recalls her childhood with bitterness. She was brought up by a mentally unstable mother. For many years, the girl didn't see anything except for humiliation and abuse. And even after growing old and becoming successful, she couldn't believe that she's worthy of love. Schizophrenia, the determination of geniuses, workaholics, addictive love, all these phenomena and emotional states have one thing in common: obsession. For a short period of time, any single one of us might become gripped by it when we pursue some goal objective in our life. Psychologists say, the most important rule of reality is not to become lost in your dreams. It's impossible to predict where the obsession will bring you, to the satisfaction from achieved goals or to a mental illness. The more haunting is the idea, the deeper lie its roots, and the more difficult it is to get rid of.